Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. The headlines. Governor Zulum of Borno State facilitates enrollment of 1,000 children in IDP camps. 18-year-old girl sets sleeping lover ablaze in Makurdi, Benue State. Trump Twitter ban is problematic, so says German Chancellor Angela Merkel. I am Nkiru Owuli with the details of the news. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has facilitated the enrollment of a total of 1,163 children in internally displaced persons IDP camps into primary schools. This was announced in a Facebook post on the official handle of the Governor of Borno State. The children had been out of school since the displacement of their parents and guardians by Boko Haram following attacks on their communities. The governor, in his address, appealed to parents to allow their children to enroll in schools. He noted that where functional schools are provided by government, social welfare assistance from the government will eventually be extended to parents who allow their children and wards to attend schools, whether Western or combined curriculum of Western and Islamic education. He also addressed secondary school leaving students, promising them that the state government will support them to actualize their dreams in life. And staying on education, the Joint Action Committee of Non-Academic Staff Union NASU and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities SANU has commenced a 3-day national protest. The protests followed an earlier statement by the NASU's Secretary General Peter Adeyemi and the SANU President Mohammed Ibrahim, calling on all members in branches of universities and inter-university centers across the country to embark on industrial action. The protesters in Abuja, comprising members, occupied the main gate of the Abuja main campus. The members are protesting over irregularities in Integrated Payroll Personnel Information System IPPS payments, non-payments of earned allowances, non-payment of arrears in minimum wage, among others. They are also protesting the sharing formula of the 70 billion naira given to the universities by the federal government. They insist that the 75% and 25% sharing formula for the earned allowances does not favor their members. Other issues include the delay in the renegotiation of FGN, NASU and SANU 2009 agreement, non-payment of retirement benefits of outgone members, neglect and poor funding of state universities, and non-constitution of visitation panels for universities. The reopening of schools in Nigeria, earlier slated for January 18, 2021, is no longer feasible. This is due to the rise in the numbers of youths that have been infected by the coronavirus. The Minister of Education, Adamu, made this known on Monday in Abuja during a briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The minister, however, assured that a new date will be announced in due course after all necessary consultations with the relevant stakeholders.
As COVID-19 pandemic continues to increase, schools in Nigeria will no longer resume on the 18th of January as stated. Worried by the increase of the disease, the PTF is emphasizing for more testing. At the PTF briefing in Abuja, the Minister for Education, Adamu, who confirmed the development, says the date for resumption will soon be announced.
When we decided on that date, it was just a target towards which we were working. And of course, we are keeping it in view and looking at what is happening in the society. And in view of the rising cases, today at the meeting of PTF, we considered it, and tomorrow the ministry is going to take it up. So most likely it's going to be reviewed.
Next week, the pilot exercise on the use of the rapid diagnostic test kits, RDTs, will be rolled out in 5 tertiary health institutions in Abuja.
The Minister of State for Health, Olorunimbe Mamora, also debunked claims credited to him on National Identity Management Registration.
The statement credited to me on the social media as to the suspension of the exercise is out of context, hence totally misleading. For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. President's order on the matter remains as being carried out by the relevant ministry.
The PTF hereby urged Nigerians to remain diligent as Nigeria awaits the COVID-19 vaccines.
Away from education, Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibok Ikte Ibas has commissioned a multi-million naira housing complex for the accommodation of naval officers and ratings in Calabar, Cross River State. Vice Admiral Ibas seized the occasion once more to restate the commitment of the naval authorities to improve the welfare of its officers and men as a way of motivating them to concentrate effectively in their task of protecting the nation's waterways. The Chief of Naval Staff, who spoke through the Commander, Eastern Fleet Rear Admiral Perry Onwuzulike, charged beneficiaries of the housing scheme to ensure proper maintenance of their apartments.
These projects we've commissioned today, beginning from Ikoransa to the reference hospital and to this place where we have the arrival hall for ratings and the CBM quarters. These are all infrastructural projects, infrastructural development projects as envisioned by the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ekwe Ibas, all key towards enhancing the operational efficiency of the Nigerian Navy.
In the meantime, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has charged the 80th regular recruits intake to be prepared to defend the country from any act of aggression from terrorists and armed bandits. General Buratai, who arrived in Kano in company of top military commanders, warned that if the army will not condone any act of laziness and indiscipline.
Addressing the 80 regular recruits in Falgaro Forest in Kano State, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, says they must be ready to serve anywhere they are deployed to defend the country. He urged them to be loyal to the army and shun all forms of indiscipline.
You must make up your mind that you are ready to serve the country as a soldier, Nigerian army, and you should be ready to serve anywhere you are deployed after you are passing out. If you are not ready to move to Sambisa and other parts of the country across our border areas to defend our country from any acts of aggression, then you have not started. There is no room for laziness in the army, no room for indiscipline, there is no room for malingering. I take this recruitment process very important. That's why I am personally here.
The first call to duty for the intake is the 30-kilometer marathon before being moved to the Nigerian Army Depot in Zaria, where they will undergo Special Forces training before deployment.
In the southwest, the Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has raised an alarm over the increasing wave of insecurity in the state, accusing the state governor of abandoning the state for armed bandits to take over. PDP described the kidnapping of a popular petroleum dealer, Suleiman Akimbami, in the premises of his petrol station in Ado-Ekiti as a major danger signal, and that the situation is getting to a level where residents of the state will not be safe in their bedrooms. A statement by the State Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Raphael Adeyanju, said it is sad and shameful that while Akimbami was being kidnapped right in his business premises, Fayemi, whom he labored and funded to be enthroned as governor of Ekiti State, was nowhere near the state. The party said if Akimbami could be kidnapped right in the heart of Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, it is a clear indication that the security of lives and property of Ekiti people are no longer guaranteed even in their bedrooms. We'll take a quick break and bring you more reports when we return. Please stay.
Here is the news of cooperation and collaboration on DSTV channel 255 between MITV and Clearview TV. Every day at 7 p.m., we bring you a half-hour comprehensive news on DSTV channel 255. On Tuesdays, however, we read the news at 8:30 p.m. Come join us, 7 p.m. on DSTV 255. It's a deal.
You're welcome back, and now to health. The second wave of the coronavirus has continued to sweep across Nigeria, with 1,244 new infections recorded in 18 states across the country on Monday. Nigeria also recorded 3 new deaths. On Sunday, the nation crossed the grim milestone of over 100,000 infections as health officials called for stricter enforcement of safety measures. The 1,244 new cases on Monday pushed the total number of infections in the country to 101,331. 1 in every 6 persons tested for COVID-19 in Nigeria in the past 2 weeks tested positive for the virus, indicating how far the virus has spread. The spike in infections is also feeding through into fatalities. 3 people died from the disease on Monday, taking the death toll to 1,361 in total. Nigeria recorded one of its highest coronavirus-related deaths on Friday, with 12 people dying from the virus. In the past 24 days, there have been 149 fatalities as a result of COVID-19 complications in the country. The government blamed the increase in deaths on late referral of COVID-19 patients to treatment centers. The Minister of State for Health, Olorunigbe Mamara, speaking at the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 briefing on Monday, said caregivers are holding on to suspected cases for too long before presenting them for treatment. A former commissioner for establishment, labor and special duties in Edo State, Comrade Didi Adodo, is dead. According to findings, Adodo died this Tuesday morning after a battle with COVID-19 complications for a few days. Until his death, Adodo was the secretary or general secretary of the Iron and Steel Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. Adodo had joined the list of prominent Nigerians who died from the virus. A few days ago, Zazzau Emirate in Kaduna State lost 2 princes, Ian Zazzau, Bashir Aminu, and Talban Zazzau Abubakar Pate. Aminu died from COVID-19 complications, while Pate died of a heart attack. And Benue State government says it is mourning the death of a former military administrator of the state, Aminu Isa Kwantagora. The retired colonel died on Sunday, January 10th, at the age of 65. Governor Samuel Otam declared Tuesday, January 12th, a work-free day and directed that flags be flown at half-mast. Otam described the demise of Kwantagora as a great loss to Nigeria and Benue State. The governor described Benue as the second home of the deceased, as he remained in touch with the state during its happy and trying moments. He sympathized with the government and people of Niger State over the death of their son and prayed God to grant his soul eternal rest. Former governor and senator representing Benue Northeast Senatorial District, Gabriel Suswam, has also commiserated with the bereaved family. Born 1956, Kwantagora was military administrator of Benue State from August 1996 to August 1998 during the regime of the late General Sani Abacha. Gombe State Governor Inuo Yahaya has pledged that the selection process and appointment of a new traditional ruler for the people of Tangale will be carried out in strict compliance with the wishes of the community. Governor Yahaya gave the assurance when he paid a condolence visit to commiserate with the Tangale community over the death of their traditional ruler, Dr. Abdul Buba Meisheru II, who joined his ancestors following a brief illness.
It was all quiet at the home and palace of the Maitango in Biliri local government area of Gombe State, as the people were still mourning their loss. The atmosphere was gloomy, as the people were yet to recover from the shock of the death of their traditional ruler. This gloomy atmosphere pervaded the air when Governor Inuayaya arrived at the palace on a candlelight visit. Prayers were said for the repose of the dead. After the short but memorable visit, the state governor shared a moment of his relationship with the traditional ruler.
He lived a fulfilled life as a paramount ruler of the Tangale chiefdom and somebody that is well respected not only within the Gombe circles but even at the national level, having held the position of the coordinating chairman of the Northern Christian traditional rulers. So we hold him in high esteem and we respect this family and we value him, but God loves him most and God has carried him away. So we come to strengthen one another.
He also disclosed that the state government would honor the wish of the people in finding a new traditional ruler.
So we'll keep ourselves and we'll hold ourselves as a family and as a people. We shall not derail and God will guide us to do the correct thing. I've settled their minds and I believe God will settle us all.
For now, there is no official announcement for the burial of the late monarch, as the people are still in grief in their trying times.
The implementation of the federal government's special public works under which 1,000 youths in each of the 774 local government areas in the country are to be recruited has commenced in earnest in Ebonyi State, southeast Nigeria. Beneficiaries are to be paid 20,000 naira each month for a period of 3 months that the job will last. As our correspondent now tells us, the job opportunity is part of the strategy of the Buhari administration to tackle poverty.
1,000 youths, each from the 13 local government areas of Ebonyi State, are to benefit from the program. Armed with these tools and equipment to execute their projects, the participants are to help in the maintenance of public works in the state commencing from this January to March.
With this, I can keep myself busy and run away from crimes. And with the connection, will even take me to more higher levels.
And for me to become a one of the participants at this age, I feel very excited. I feel wow.
Speaking while flagging off the program in Abakaliki, the state capital, President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonnaya Onu, says the long-term benefit of the program will be more easily realized if the participants acquire additional knowledge and skills in the process of executing their various tasks.
The federal government considers this as important that many of the participants in this program will in the future become self-employed and also ultimately become employers of labor.
The state governor, Dave Umahi, who was represented by the secretary to the state government, Kenneth Ugbala, says his administration on its part has provided many opportunities aimed at empowering the youth in the state.
The state has mapped 3 billion naira, 1 million naira for each youth, for them to get involved in small-scale businesses that can enhance the living of the youth.
Now to the foreign scene, German Chancellor Angela Merkel believes that the decision by social media giants to permanently suspend Donald Trump's accounts is problematic because freedom of opinion should be determined by such online platform bosses. Speaking through her spokesman, Stefan Siebert, Merkel said the fundamental right of freedom is an opinion of freedom of opinion is a fundamental right of elementary importance, and these fundamental rights can be interfered with, but through the law and within the framework determined by the legislature, not according to the decision of the management of social media platforms. From this point of view, the Chancellor considers it problematic that the account of the U.S. President has been permanently blocked. He said, or she said, that lies or incitements to violence were also very problematic, but that the path to dealing with them should be for the state to draw up a legal regulatory framework. Completely blocking out views by halting the account is a step too far, the spokesman said, but added that he backed actions taken by social media in recent months to flag false claims. Merkel said she was furious and saddened by the storming of the U.S. Capitol by Trump supporters. She had also accused Trump of stoking the unrest by refusing to concede election defeat to Joe Biden. The Japanese Fire and Disaster Management Agency said this Tuesday that at least 13 people died and about 250 were injured as a result of record snowfall blanketed regions along the Sea of Japan coast. According to the agency and local media reports, 3 people in their 60s and 80s died in Fuku Prefecture, while 47 people were injured in the prefecture in snow-linked accidents. Niigata Prefecture saw 4 people die as a result of trying to remove snow. Also, the bedlam caused by snowfall that hit wide swaths of Japan also saw more than 1,200 vehicles on the Hokuriku Expressway in Fuku Prefecture stranded during a blizzard recently. Meanwhile, the Tokai Hokuriku Expressway in Toyama Prefecture, more than 200 vehicles were stranded in heavy snow, while 250 people became stuck in Niigata Prefecture's National Route 8. And now to some sports stories.
Chelsea forward Ike Ugbo has committed his international future to Nigeria. Ugbo, 22, who was born and raised in South London, has his roots in Nigeria. The young striker, who is currently on loan at Belgian club Cercle Brugge, has represented England at the under-17 and under-20 levels. He is now working towards acquiring clearance from the Federation of International Football Association (FIFA). The former Roda player has scored 10 goals in 16 league appearances for Cercle Brugge this season. Mesut Ozil has claimed that Fenerbahce are the only Turkish club he would be willing to sign for amid speculations over his future. The 32-year-old is expected to quit Emirates this month. Fenerbahce president Ali Koç recently hinted that a January deal for Ozil could indeed come to fruition. Clearview TV recalls that Ozil has not made an appearance for Arsenal since March 2020, after being left out of Mikel Arteta's Premier League and Europa League squads for the 2020-2021 campaign. Top NFL coach Bill Belichick says he will not accept President Donald Trump's offer of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, citing the US Capitol riots. Belichick of the New England Patriots said he was flattered when he was first offered the medal, the top award given to civilians in the US. But he said he changed his mind after a mob of Trump supporters stormed Congress last week, leaving 5 people dead. The celebrated coach had previously spoken of his friendship with Donald Trump. Belichick, who has won a record 6 bowl titles, is considered one of the most successful coaches in NFL history.
It is definitely significant here in the United States. Bill Belichick is known here as perhaps the greatest coach in the most popular sport, one of the country's greatest thinkers in professional sports, who's won 6 championships, had unprecedented success. And this has to be the first time that anyone's ever turned down a Presidential Medal of Freedom. Of course, these are unprecedented times here in the United States with the attack on the Capitol last week, incited by the President of the United States. The attack on the Capitol last week has to be an affront to everything that Belichick stands for and the U.S. Naval Academy stands for, and it would be a really, really bad look for Bill Belichick to be accepting this award in a public ceremony so soon after basically an insurrection last week. So it has to be the first time this has ever happened, and it frankly made a lot of people in Massachusetts and around the country happy because it would have done a lot of damage to Belichick's reputation had he accepted this award.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom recognizes individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the security or national interests of America.
And just before I go, a quick recap of our main stories. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has facilitated the enrollment of 1,163 children in internally displaced persons camps into primary schools. The children had been out of school since the displacement of their parents and guardians by Boko Haram following attacks on their communities. An 18-year-old girl has been apprehended by the police for allegedly setting her boyfriend ablaze after a quarrel in the Wadata area of Makurdi town. The teenage girl carried out the dastardly act at about 2 a.m. when the victim was fast asleep. German Chancellor Angela Merkel is not happy with the decision by social media giants to permanently suspend U.S. President Trump's accounts. She said it is problematic because freedom of opinion should not be determined by such online platform operators. Do remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Clearview TV. You can like us on Facebook at Clearview Television. Follow us on Instagram at Clearview TV_NG, and finally on Twitter at Clearview TV. I am Nkiro Obuli. Thank you for watching.